Today on CTV News at 5, Alison Redford visits southern Alberta, how she's responding to a new poll that says the Wild Rose Alliance is leading in popularity. Plus, dramatic new video that shows exactly what happened the night a truck was rammed through the Taber Tim Hortons. And family and friends of Caitlin Boyda are back from Uganda after flying to see her legacy firsthand.
CTV News with Kayla Carr.
Good afternoon. Alison Redford brought her campaign to southern Alberta today, and she's playing down the latest poll that suggests she's no longer the most popular choice for premier. The Voice of Alberta poll, conducted by ThinkHQ Public Affairs, interviewed just over 1,000 Albertans at the beginning of this month. It shows among decided voters, Wild Rose has increased 7 percentage points since March and is now at 43%. The PC party is 13 points back at 30%. The poll also shows that province-wide, Danielle Smith receives a 56% approval rating compared to Redford's 48%. The results come as Redford unveiled a plan to reduce the cost of generic drugs and make healthcare more accessible to Albertans. Terry Vogt reports.
If Alison Redford's campaign is hurting, the party leader is showing no outward signs of panic.
You know what? As long as there's sunshine, it's great.
Speaking in front of a pharmacy in downtown Taber, Redford outlined new options that she says will improve access to health services, including reducing the prices people pay for generic drugs starting July 1st. And she says guaranteeing that Albertans will have the option to ask their pharmacist to renew their prescriptions without visiting a doctor.
That's the start of how we can work with pharmacists.
But a new poll shows many voters aren't warming to PC campaign promises. It shows that among decided voters, support for the Wild Rose Party is now 13 percentage points ahead of the PCs. And when it comes to party leaders, Danielle Smith's approval rating is higher than Redford's.
I've never commented on polls except to say that Election Day will be the day where Albertans decide. You know, we're going to see a number of polls over the course of the weeks of this campaign, and I think what we're going to see and have seen is that there are ups and downs. It's certainly a volatile time. I think Albertans are quite engaged.
Despite the latest poll results, Redford says she's proud of what the PCs have accomplished, proud of their campaign, and proud of the recent budget, which she says reflects what the people of Alberta want in the future. That's what Redford says, but what do the voters say?
Personally, I like Danielle better than I do Alison as well, and I think that the PC party, it's time for maybe a little bit of a shake-up in there.
Well, I'm not too fussy about the Wild Rose in the first place.
To be truthful, I am undecided. First time in my life I've ever been there, but I am undecided. I heard her speak this morning and I'm still there.
This will be the first time I'm looking forward to a change in my vote.
Redford will be staying overnight in Lethbridge and continuing her campaign here in the morning. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Speaking in Medicine Hat this morning, Redford reminded voters that her government was behind a $200 million upgrade at the Medicine Hat Hospital. She also said the PC government would be going ahead with repaving a Highway 3 between Bow Island and Medicine Hat. She said twinning that part of the highway was a long-range goal, but not in the short-term plan. While the manhunt continues for a fugitive on the run, Tyler Darrell Leader is wanted for armed robbery in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Now police think the Lethbridge man is in our province. RCMP believe Leader was behind the wheel of a truck that rammed a police cruiser twice near Irricana on Sunday and then took off. Police say the truck and the license plate were stolen. 26-year-old Tyler Leader has been on the run for 9 months, maybe traveling with his girlfriend Samantha Bellhammer. She's been missing from Coaldale since August.
We do know that he was seen with a younger girl in Saskatchewan with long hair, but whether we can confirm that's her or not, I don't think that confirmation has been made.
Leader is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911. New dramatic security footage shows a truck crashing through the Tim Hortons in Taber. It happened just before midnight, March 9th. A man parks a pickup truck outside the Tim Hortons and heads inside. Moments later, an oil rig truck slams into the back of the pickup, ramming it through the brick wall and into the restaurant. 27-year-old Jake Cron of Taber is charged with stealing an oil truck and using it to push his own truck into the Tim Hortons. He's also charged with dangerous and impaired driving. He appeared briefly in court this morning. His case was set over until May 15th. His brother, 26-year-old Heinrich Kron of Sterling, is charged with obstruction and public mischief. And Dory is here now with a first look at weather. Dory, that change that we've been talking about, it is coming.
You know, Kayla, it just kind of boggles the mind. We hit 19 degrees for a daytime high today. People are wearing shorts. They're walking around with no jackets. And then we've got winter storm warnings in the forecast. Yeah, so it's a bit of a change tomorrow. It doesn't look like we'll get a whole bunch of snow here in Lethbridge, but we will see precipitation in the form of rain and maybe some flurries later in the week. But yeah, it's a real change. I'll have details in a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Dory. Family and friends of Caitlin Boyda are back from Uganda after flying to see her legacy firsthand. They were among a group of 20 people who spent 10 days in the African country. They wanted to show volunteers, supporters, and sponsors how Compassion Canada dollars are benefiting people in Africa. The group also got a first-hand look at Caitlin's legacy. The 17-year-old who passed away last May dedicated the last few months of her life to a fundraising campaign to build water wells in Africa.
The day of the dedication was absolutely amazing. The whole village came out to join us, and yeah, the families. It was just wonderful to see how grateful the people were for this. We take water for granted here, and it was just such a huge, huge issue for them, and it was just an amazing day.
And the fund, which continues to bring in donations, has surpassed $300,000, helping more than 44,000 people and 21 villages in Uganda alone. Lethbridge City Council is accelerating the project to widen the southern end of Mayor McGrath Drive. The new plan calls for 4 lanes to be completed this year. The original 2-phase project was due to start in 2015. But as Michael Popove reports, by speeding up the process, the city is looking to save millions of dollars.
For those who commute in South Lethbridge, this is where the bottleneck begins and ends, at the southern tip of Mayor McGrath Drive. Lethbridge City Council is hoping to relieve that traffic by approving a plan that would fast-track the project as well as save the city $3.6 million in construction costs. The goal is to reduce any further traffic congestion that's expected to occur with all the new housing development going on in the south. The $7.8 million improvement project will see the widening of Mayor McGrath Drive to 4 lanes from 40th Avenue South all the way to the airport.
I know it's going to make the traffic flow a lot better because at times when during rush hours we have a problem exiting from the subdivision. But definitely, you know, there'll be a lot less traffic congestion on the road.
I've never been backed up once going between Costco and the airport. But like I said, that's not to say that that might not be an issue coming in the next 2-3 years. So.
Business and residents in the area will be affected by the ongoing construction that starts this June. Many, however, are seeing it as short-term pain for a long-term gain.
Last time they widened Mayor McGrath, I thought it was a little bit overkill, and I remember all the businesses complaining about, you know, all the construction. But looking at it now and going for lunch, I definitely think it was a good move.
Definitely with this subdivision across the street here that's just started, there's going to be a lot more traffic out here. So I think it's going to make it a lot better for the traffic flow in the future.
In approving the fast-tracking measure of the widening of Mayor McGrath Drive South, City Council is saying this is the perfect opportunity to increase traffic flow while at the same time reduce construction costs. Michael Popove, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And City Council is also considering loaning the Lethbridge exhibition over $4.6 million. The money would be used to upgrade the grounds and facility and enhance visitor enjoyment. The bylaw was read into City Council Monday. If approved, the exhibition would agree to pay the loan back in full over a 15-month period. The issue will return to Council May 14th. Meanwhile, City Transit will be renovating their facilities. Council is spending almost $1 million to hire a consulting firm to oversee that project. Work will include replacing underground fuel tanks and creating an additional maintenance service. It's expected to be done next year. Well, it's time to count yourself in. The city's annual census is now underway. You can go onto the City of Lethbridge website and fill out the census online. Census takers won't actually hit the pavement until April 7th. Then they'll be going door to door asking 3 quick questions about gender, age, and the number of people living in each household. The city says it's important everyone takes part because they get about $500 in federal and provincial grants for every person counted. The city's population in 2011 was just under 90,000. Also effective this week, an elm pruning ban is now in effect across Alberta. The ban is to stop the spread of elm park beetles, which cause Dutch elm disease. That will remain in place until September 30th. The Lethbridge Research Centre potato breeding program is attracting a lot of attention. Researchers have developed a new potato with a variety of health benefits. Here's a look at this week's Farm.tv.
Farm.tv took the opportunity to speak with Dr. Jeff Stewart, Science Director at the Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada Lethbridge Research Centre, about their potato research programs.
We have a very active program here on potato research. We have a crossing program which uses traditional crosses here at Lethbridge.
What can you tell us about this new potato?
We're very excited about a new line of potatoes that has been brought out that shows very good promise for diabetics as well as health-conscious consumers. It's a line that has a low glycemic index, and of course for people with diabetes that offers an advantage so that they can eat potatoes, whereas in the past that has been a bit of an issue for them. The particular line of potato has come from our program through an exchange, showing good promise here in Alberta. It has good agronomic values as well as good health-related qualities.
Lethbridge has a very active lab program, while the field work is carried out near Vauxhall, Alberta.
We do have 10 hectares of land in total that's devoted to potato production. It's grown under irrigation, and it's a great site because it happens to be in the heart of potato growing country, and so the results that we see there are pretty indicative of what growers would expect to see in their areas.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
And Dory has your full weather forecast coming up after the break. Right now, let's take a look at today's markets.